been around and how big. I'm Larissa Zimmerman, nicknamed Zed, and I guess I grew up on 5 acres southwest of Sydney, 10 acres actually, it's now 5 acres. So at 17 I joined the army, partly because my dad had said he went through the depression of the 1930s, and this is where we live in such a lucky country and we don't realise the good times we have. He does not remember having a piece of fruit or a pair of shoes in his childhood, so hopefully we never get back to that. But I bought my first property at 21 after I graduated from the Royal Military College, Duntroon. Was in the army for 14 years full time, then I was federal police for a couple of years, then I went into small business. It wasn't until I was in my 30s kind of wondering what's life all about, and I thought it'd be really nice to live off-grid, get out of the concrete jungle and back to nature. So my ex and I bought this in 2013 after the bushfires. I bought him out in 2019. No one wanted to buy it, and it's funny how the universe works, but now I've ended up with 300 beautiful acres. That is really like having your own national park, as someone said to me. I've put half of it under a Biodiversity Conservation Trust agreement, so a BCT agreement, which means, was it about 54 hectares of the 120 hectares can never be developed. So that's my legacy. Don't have children, so that's my legacy. I'd like to have bush tucker, bush medicine, and there are 5 threatened species on the property. So the property has about 4 different levels from the creek and the road all the way up. It's about 420 metres above sea level. And the 5 threatened species, well, I won't go into all of those, but it's just really nice to know that you've got a space for creatures who are slowly being driven out of their habitat to come and feel safe. I'm just looking, I did actually have this dam made a lot bigger. It was a lot smaller. When it was all dry, I got an excavator all the way up here. I can tell you it's very deep, and I'm just looking at what tracks are in the mud there. So you can see. I actually, for the very first time this morning, saw a couple of big grey kangaroos, which I haven't seen in a very long time. Usually they're small wallabies. So yeah, the water has actually been over that big, or you've just seen the top of that big rock sticking out of the water. So that's how far down it's come.
So what's this dam for? What's the purpose of this?
Just really, the purpose is to have a water source up here and create a bit of life. I don't actually use it for anything at the moment. But as you might be aware, if you have a water source, one, it's a good insulator and it's a good temperature controller. So it will help regulate the environment in the immediate vicinity. So, 3.5 years ago, life-changing, or lots of life-changing experiences along the way, I guess. The first one was 2004. So I got out of the army. I chopped the hair, bought the motorbike, ditched the man, got out of the army, 8 part-time jobs, worked out this basic budgeting process, federal police, living with my sister in Canberra. Life was awesome in small business, starting to get momentum. And it was the 27th of April 2004. I got the call that changed the way I viewed the world. Some people get hit with a Mack truck and they never wake up and laugh again. Luckily I've been able to, But that day, I was smashed into 2 million pieces for a couple of years. My little brother, at the age of 26, had just gassed himself to the song Cry Little Sister off the Lost Boys soundtrack. So there was myself and my sister living in Canberra, and he was our little brother. He'd moved away from home, moved back home and gassed himself. So I was a mess for a couple of years. I slowly came out of the fog, and that's when I went, what the hell, what are we here for, you know? Why are we here on this planet? So I came out of the fog and looked at the bigger picture, the whole world, and decided to put my money where my mouth is and ran for Parliament in 2010. I got more primary votes than Matt Thistlethwaite, but because of preferential voting, I wasn't elected to the Senate, and I think I'm glad I didn't didn't get in. But what that did for me, that small amount of campaigning, was helped me research down rabbit holes and really see what's out there and the state of the planet. So that's, again, another reason why I want to live simply. People talk about, oh my God, you know, I want to live off grid. Why do you want to do it? Because it's not as easy as people think. They think, oh, the cost of living. But yeah, it's a lot harder than you might think to begin with. Once you've got the processes set up, it's okay. You can hear the difference. And got it coming down the hill, gravity fed as one way. So that's cool. So just make sure water comes through the pipes every so often. And this is, that's the one down there that goes down to the bottom cabin. And this is the one that gets pumped up from the big tank down there. Resilience. Let's talk about resilience a little bit. What does it mean for me? Resilience is the ability to bounce back after a setback. And I think resilience is made easier if you have a strong foundation. And what helps your foundation? In the army, I learned that mental resilience comes with physical resilience. If you don't think you can do that extra push-up, if you don't think you can run that little bit faster, it is your mental strength that helps you with your physical strength. And they go hand in hand. So you have those. But in Western society, what we also need is financial fitness. So financial fitness, mental fitness, physical fitness, they all go hand in hand. And then the other element that is forgotten about sometimes is the spiritual fitness. We get caught up in this rat race, but there are so many amazing books and so many amazing sayings, a couple of them that I live by. First up, the quality of our life is determined by the quality of our questions. It took me a long time after my brother passed away to realise. I'd heard of it before, no big deal, yeah, just one of those fancy sayings. But if you ask, why does this always happen to me? What could I have done? You are stuck in a circle of despair. If you ask a quality question like, what's the lesson I need to learn? How can this never happen to me again? What's the positive to this? You keep asking that quality question, eventually the answers will come, because your brain is amazing and it will find the answers if you're quiet at times. So that brings me to the next point, is slow down so the angel of good fortune can catch you. You don't always have to have bigger and better and more. too, sorry.